is enough antipathy, judgment, and bile. Pop Fox News on, they're giving it away. Perhaps even the Bilderbergers, Illuminati, and lizards can be guided back to humanity. Hello. Now, before I start, I'm not saying Russell Brand is an anti-Semite or using an anti-Semitic dog whistle deliberately. However, this is to go into how this real piece of work conspiracy theory permeates a lot of the societal and cultural lexicon, that we have people accidentally sharing it. Hell, I've made jokes about it before. It's something that you can just do without noticing it. It's why this video is there, to disseminate that. So, here we go! Sadly, this incredibly weird theory and dog whistle comes from an amalgamation of both the previously mentioned cultural Marxism hierarchy, as well as the idea that those in charge have been replaced by shape-shifting lizards, like some kind of backwards Doctor Who episode. With this understanding, it shows that the already pretty dreadful ideals of the prior theory can be added to this literal dehumanization, done through implying that not only are the people in control that we have confirmed through these other theories are meant to be read as Jewish people, but they are not even human, and they are coming to replace us. Fun foreshadowing, but we'll get to that later. And are always hostile in their appearance. In some circles, both are used interchangeably. The lizard theory, or Alpha Draconis, or Babylonian Brotherhood, it's got a lot of names, was originally created by David Icke, former footballer turned sports broadcaster and now full-time unhinged lunatic. Icke created the theory and espoused it after being told by a psychic that he was placed as a special boy on the planet to receive messages from the spirit world, not long after coming out as son of the Godhead. Most people usually just pick gay, bi, trans, but you do you. With this realization and newfound identity, Icke claimed on Wogan of all places, that the world would soon be devastated by tidal waves and earthquakes.
But the other point you bring up about the predictions.
Yes.
If I am given information from beings who have proved to be perfectly accurate day after day after day, and things they've told us are going to happen, and they happen.
They told you Saddam Hussein was dead, and he's
not.
That's
right. Yes, he is.
Bit vague, and it being 1990, I suppose we could say he was right if we look at Haiti, Japan, or any number of places that I can think of off the top of my head that unfortunately came to pass. And unfortunately for David Icke again, happened over a decade later. But so you could say he was just telling us a lot in advance. Or more likely, he was very, very wrong. You see, Icke was a member of the Green Party at the time, so maybe that was based on some climate data, and was just misinterpreted by, and I repeat myself, his totally unhinged nature. Thankfully, this ended in a ridicule and he disappeared for a bit.
9 years later.
So our favourite whack job is back at it, and brings out the theory in a piece he'd like to call The Biggest Secret, which was self-published after several anti-Semitic, let's say, incidents, caused him to be dropped by his publisher. In this conspiracy, he names people like the royal family, the Bushes, whichever one of them was sitting president at the time, family, the Rothschilds, and then out of nowhere, the Merovingian, the Merovingian dynasty, a ruling family of the Franks, an ancient Germanic people who ruled from the 5th century to midway through the 8th. That doesn't have a pattern. However, unfortunately, there was a bit of a pattern, but not the little one that little bitty Davy made. Sadly, that's because he was looking in the wrong direction. The link here is hereditary wealth and power from an unjust system that builds hierarchy, when instead we could just be equal. Now, the problem here is capitalism and its predecessor, monarchy or feudalism, which sadly is making a comeback, but we will mention that another time. Icke's theory was part of a survey in 2013. It showed that anywhere from 1.2 to 6.8% of, give or take, of the American registered voters believed David's theory. Now that doesn't sound like much, but let's put it into perspective. If that number held up today and included non-registered voters in the US population, that would mean the amount of believers would be anywhere between 3,977,109 to 22,536,951 people. That is approximately anywhere between 44.2 to 250.4 Wembley stadiums, which, when filled, look a bit like this. So, with that many believers, it's got to be spread pretty far, and well, yeah! One usage of the term has already been discussed, and honestly I think Russell only means it as a term to talk about people in preconceived positions of power, or those with unfathomable favour in the current system of government, structure and capitalism. However, I could be wrong, so I would like to say that, and I will say, that I would like to see the innocence, but as well, if something does come out after this video, I'm sorry in advance, I guess. I'm not re-editing this, and I probably will have other stuff to do by then. Another person who used the phrase is Louis C.K., which feels like a bad example of a person who implied that Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld were part of the shadowy group of flesh consumers in 2011. In 2003, the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario had their press release disseminated where they referred to the Ontario Liberal Party leader and the opposition leader, Dalton McGuinty, as an evil reptilian kitten-eater from another planet, because that's a great look, and that totally helps you win elections. Another example of this one is Natalie Wynn, otherwise known as ContraPoints, and this very, very unfortunate piece of merch, which I have shown on this channel before. It also has had a little bit of a rebrand due to the fact that the description used to say David Icke was right. I mean, that's all fine, though. We all word something badly. It's not like she has an elaborate Nazi costume or anything. No, put that away. So anyway, I hope you've learned something about this topic, and maybe if you're thinking about making the world a little better, maybe don't reference to a conspiracy theory made by a man who's a glaring anti-Semite, who has suggested that requiring people to get vaccinated about COVID-19 is on par with fascism, or that 5G is going to end human life. Maybe because it'll make you look like an idiot, or a bigot, or both. And none of those are good labels, are they? Hey, thanks for watching that video. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to support me and the projects that I'm doing here, and the footage of the little dog in the background, please do pop a little bit down in the Patreon below, and just check out the links at the bottom there. Give it a subscribe, give it a like, do whatever you feel is right. But yeah, because then I can do more of this, and I can see what part of this you really like. So, yep, thanks. Catch you later.